Well, good Friday morning, everyone. It is 6 a.m. here on Up with KREM. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend.
We did.
Finally. All right, meteorologist Thomas Patrick helping you get ready on this Friday morning, but also helping you prepare for the weekend ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I think our weather pattern is going to be pretty stable for the weekend, but not completely. That's the trick to it. There will be some small rain chances over the weekend ahead, but not enough to probably change any plans around. So keep that in mind. That just generally speaking, obviously. Today, though, no rain chances. The rain is not here this morning. The rain stays away. In fact, the skies will just get sunnier and sunnier throughout the day. So we are currently starting in the mid-50s right now. The skies are clearing out as we are in between our two weather systems. And for our day planner, well, we'll go from cloudy to mostly sunny with a high of 75 degrees.
All right, if you are heading out on your morning commute right now, we're taking a live look at I-90 in Hamilton, getting you ready for that morning commute just in case. Right now at 6:02 on this Friday, not any major traffic concerns to report right now, and not a lot of cars out on this selection of I-90 either. We'll continue keeping an eye out on the roads all morning long and let you know if anything changes. Well, the Apple Cup is tomorrow. Of course, the big football game between Washington State University and the University of Washington is happening in Seattle.
So far, both teams are undefeated this season, and you may remember last year's game was super close. It all came down to this Huskies field goal. It hurts still. The Huskies are 5-point favorites going into the game, but you never know when it comes to a rivalry game.
So here are a few things that you need to know about this year's matchup. Kickoff for the big game is at 12:30 tomorrow. This is the first Apple Cup since the Pac-12 realignment happened, of course. The Cougs have only won the Apple Cup 32 times, dating back to 1900, but their most recent win was in 2021 when they beat the Huskies at home.
We got to win this game. Week 3 this year, it's early this year. I know it's usually been later in the year, but it's right here, it's for the taking, and I believe 1,000% we got the team to do it.
I've never not seen the trophy in the case, so, you know, it's definitely a personal thing.
It is a personal thing. Now, this year's Apple Cup will look a little different with the game being on neutral ground.
The Cougars and Huskies will meet on the Seattle Seahawks home turf in Lumen Field. Of course, this is much earlier than it traditionally is. Now a post, though, on social media by Lumen Field causing some controversy by some fans. It shows the field with both end zones, labels with the team names, but online many are commenting about the small font size in the WSU end zone. Take a look. Yeah, it is much smaller.
A lot smaller. You have to kind of get close to your screen to even see it right there. So a heads up for any fans who are leaving for the game today. WashDOT is now warning about some construction that's taking place on I-90 at Vantage Bridge. Now they say it could take several hours to get to the pass, so you might want to consider driving in a different direction. You can drive Highway 2 over into Seattle or travel down to Tri-Cities on US 82 to Ellensburg, then back on I-90 at Ellensburg, I know, to get over the pass and into Seattle. That is a very, very long detour for sure. So pack your patience today.
Yes.
I hate saying that, but this is a day where you might need it. So that actually brings us to our wake-up call this morning. We want to know, who do you think is going to win this year's Apple Cup? Sorry to tell you, Tim, so far we are really split down the middle with 50% of our viewers saying Cougs, 50% saying Huskies. So weigh in this morning. Let us know who you think is going to win this year's Apple Cup by texting us at 509-448-2000 or post to social media and use the hashtag #UpWithKREM.
Well, as WSU prepares for the game, the Pac-12 Conference is making some big moves. The conference announced that it will be adding 4 schools from the Mountain West Conference. Remember, we first told you about this news yesterday right here on Up with KREM. Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Colorado State are now officially joining the conference. They will begin Pac-12 play in the year 2026. Last year, the Pac-12 Conference lost 10 of its former members to other conferences. The remaining 2 teams, Washington State and Oregon State, won the rights and finances of the conference in a legal battle. Both schools already had a scheduling agreement with the Mountain West through 2025, a relationship WSU Athletics Director Ann McCoy wants to continue.
I think it was finding, like-minded institutions that have been, investing in their athletic programs and recognize, that in this day and age of college athletics, like we need to be innovative, we need to be, kind of bold and aggressive, but also need to kind of remain intact with, who we are as institutions and athletic departments. I know that's one thing that's been really important for Washington State going forward, is just continuing to remain true to, what's made Washington State a special place and not, kind of getting sucked into the fray, so to speak. And so, I think just that, promoting, the mission of higher education, through sport, and just finding schools that were like-minded in that respect, I think.
A lot of opportunity for the new member schools, but it does come with a hefty price tag. The member schools must pay $18 million for leaving, and the Pac-12 must pay $41 million for poaching the 4 schools. The revenue given to Washington State and Oregon State by the departing Pac-12 schools may help subsidize the move, though the details involving finances have not yet been worked out. The Pac-12 still needs to add 2 more schools to legally possess Power 5 status. That's according to the NCAA rule. A new school year brings a year of first for one Spokane Valley school. It's called the Ruben Trejo Dual Language Academy. The building is home to the Spokane Public Language Immersion Program. Students at the academy spend half the day learning English and the other in Spanish. The program has been going on since 2017, but now has a new home and name. KREM 2 spoke to the parent of a student about being immersed in family culture.
I grew up in a time where dual language was not important, so my mom didn't speak at home to us in Tagalog. As a person of color, I never had a teacher that reflected my identity.
The academy was named after Ruben Trejo, an artist and longtime EWU professor who created the Chicano Studies program.
It is 6:07 as we take you outside. Actually quite cloudy out here this morning, but I do think that is going to clear up in a big way throughout the day today with our forecasted high temperatures at 75 degrees here in Spokane with mostly sunny skies later on. No worries about that. In fact, our rain chances really nil today, but not 0% for the weekend. In fact, Saturday morning's looking like the best chance. But I'll be covering who has the best chance for rain, not only during that time frame, but throughout the course of this weekend. So look for those details in just a few minutes.